For 7 decades after the development of the 2-3-5 in the 1880s, English football had no doubt how football was supposed to be played. You won the ball, fed it to the winger, who tried to beat his fullback and get a cross into the box for the big, muscular number 9. Confirmation of the correctness of this vision seemed to come in the 1953 FA Cup final, as Blackpool, inspired by Stanley Matthews, came from 3-1 down to beat Bolton Wanderers 4-3. It was, by common consent, one of the greatest games of football ever played, and it concluded with Matthews, at 38, winning his first ever medal. The impact of that game was magnified by the fact that it was watched by an estimated 12 million people, a bigger television audience than for any previous sporting event, many of them crowded around sets bought or hired for the coronation the following month. Yet 6 months later, England suffered a humiliating home defeat to Hungary that exposed how outmoded that tactical perception was. Gusztab Sebes Hungary, using one very deep-lying central midfielder and a withdrawn centre-forward, were close to operating a 4-2-4. That meant the fullbacks, with an extra central defensive presence, operated wider than was usual in the WM, the most common formation of the time. When a WM met a WM, as in that 1953 Cup final, it was standard practice for an attacking side to look to switch the play. When the left winger had the ball, the opposing right back would close him down. The centre back would pick up the centre forward with the left back tucking in as cover. The right winger would stay wide so that if the ball was switched to him, he had sufficient acceleration room to make sure he was moving at pace by the time he encountered a challenge from the opposing left back. At speed, it only requires a slight touch to beat the defender. For Hungary and the teams that followed them playing a back four, there was already a covering player behind the centre back. That meant the left back could stay wide, denying the winger that acceleration room, severely curtailing his effectiveness. This also meant that the winger had to retreat in search of space, and led, over the decade or so that followed, into him becoming a midfielder rather than the pure forward that he had once been.